Welcome back, everybody. Anybody that's new here, thanks for joining me today. Today's going to be a really simple one. Obviously, as the title states, this is a river fishing box video, like the last Tackle Tip Tuesday. I'm not necessarily going to do Tackle Tip Tuesday every Tuesday for the rest of the year, because I don't want to do just filler videos. Basically, the idea behind this is I've been river fishing. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll put the playlist at the end of this video. So wait till the very end of the video and I'll have a playlist and you guys can enjoy all your river fishing fun times. I've been doing pretty good this year. It's been pretty exciting. I have a couple more places I want to go, and then I'm going to probably get back in a boat and do some more stuff like that. But I've just been trying to explore, and a big thing I do when I go river fishing is I bring 2 boxes. I'll put the other one at the end of this video, the other Tackle Tip Tuesday I did last time on. It's basically all terminal tackle that you would bring. But it's usually the best stuff. So I have a video on that. But this one is all about the lures that I think generally pretty much anywhere in America, or anywhere for that matter, you should be able to bring these lures with you. And then when you do that, you have basically all your bases is covered for fish that are swimming in the area. Granted, you're not trying to target one or the other. So like I said, the other Tackle Tip Tuesday is more for like bottom fishing or just like having a terminal tackle base. So that's like the very beginning base of things you should bring. And then this one is basically all the lures that I've come to notice, well, for North America anyways, they seem to work basically anywhere I go. So if there's a river or a dam or a creek, I can catch fish in it. So if you guys want to catch more fish while you're river fishing, stay tuned. I'm going to go over some of them. And then, like I always do, I'll list them in the description below so you guys can buy some yourself if you want. Basically, we're going to start with the simplest thing I think everyone should have. Okay, so this is the box, and literally you should be able to get a single box like this. I just use these Plano boxes. I have tons of them laying around. But you know, one that you can adjust your sizes and stuff on them depending on like what you want to bring more of. But like as you guys can see, I have a lot of like live imitation things. But if you look at this box, it's kind of divided in 2. And I just realized that now. More minnow imitations, more flashy stuff. But first we're going to start with spinners, and we'll go from there. But this is something I think basically everybody should get used to knowing how to use. And it's such an old, simple lure that it never needed to be changed. It works. Okay, so like I was saying, spinners are going to be your number 1 lure. And I'm pretty sure, like I haven't traveled the world really yet, but I'm pretty sure that you can get these probably anywhere in the world. So this is an inline spinner, not like your typical bass spinner or something like that, you know, with the blade and big old arch in it. These are just simple inline spinners, and they come in many different forms. So, I mean, you guys seen it, half my tackle box is spinners, but like, so very slight differences in all of them. And like I said, I have many different kinds, and the reason for that, and this is where the tip is going to come in here for you guys. So for instance, you'll see, so like I have 2 spinners here, one with gold blade, one with silver blade. One's got red and white on the blade, one's just straight silver, but they both have white tails. Depending on your water quality, like clarity and stuff like that, and like turbidity, how fast the water is moving, stuff like that, that dictates on what you're using. So like, I think this is a willow blade, like that's the style of blade that is. I forgot what this is. I think it's Colorado, or like, I can't remember. It's, you know, obviously it's a little fatter. So like, it makes a difference on what you're using, blade wise. So a willow blade like this won't hold itself up in the water column, reeling it slow. The fatter the blade, let me see if I can find a bigger blade for you guys. Well, for instance, so like the size of the blade kind of matches the size of the spinner. I don't have one right by me right now, but they make them fatter and fatter until you get to like a full-on, it's almost a circle. And those blades will literally hold up a lure at a much slower rate. So as the blade is spinning like that, so that's hence the name spinner, it will move at a much slower rate. So the coolest thing about spinners that I like is that with the different sizes and the different shapes, and the different styles, like, you know, this is a different style. This is like got a little minnow head to it. Mimics like a trout pattern almost. You know, if you put it like that, let the minnow head out. The different styles, you can cover basically any bait fish that swims in any river system on the planet Earth, because everything has a food chain base, and the more you guys pay attention to that when you're fishing rivers, the more fish you'll catch. So like if you go to a river and you see a lot of shiners, per se, a lot of silver and white tends to work really well. But that's the basic gist of the spinner. So like I would go into complete detail on these, but I'll probably just do a Tackle Tip Tuesday on spinners. If you guys want that, let me know in the description below, and I'll break down why you use what spinners where. But this is over the whole box here, so I just want to make sure you guys understand. Like, if you want me to break them down, you got to comment below, and I'll try and do another Tackle Tip Tuesday where I break down why you use what you use. But always have a variety of spinners. So like, you know, those, you got bigger ones. Like I said, the different color and styles. Have a variety of spinners, and you will catch fish out of every river, creek, and stream there is in any place on the planet Earth, basically. Okay, so the next thing that I think every tackle box should have is a minnow imitator. See, the thing is about this box that I'm trying to help you guys put together is there's really, like, river systems work really good. As far as like simplicity goes. So like I said, I'll put the other video at the end of this one. It'll explain how to use like the bottom box type thing. Anything that would use terminal tackle like sinkers, hooks, and swivels and stuff like that. One tip I will give you guys, if you're gonna run any of these things, either run an inline swivel or like a snap swivel. So a snap swivel is the one you tie in the end of your line and it's got a swivel on it, and then it's got a clip. I don't really use those. I use inline swivels with snaps more often. So the type of thing I run is these things. I don't know if you're even going to be able to see this thing. So that's a snap. The snap swivel would have the swivel attached to here. But what I do is I'll do leaders. So I'll run braid to a swivel. So it's an inline swivel. I'll actually link those in the description below. I don't think I have any in this box. I have them in a different box. But what you do is you put that in line, then you do a leader line. So like whatever pound test you want to do, like a 12-pound test leader line, and then this little snap, which I will put in the description for you guys. You put this snap at the end of the leader line, so then that the inline swivel is what spins. If anything gets hung up, because any kind of lure like this that, you know, that spins as you're bringing it in, if this gets hung up with weeds or something like that, it's still going to try and spin, but it's going to spin your line. So to try to prevent line twist, always run an inline swivel and a snap. Okay, so the other number one thing that you should always have, like I said, is a minnow imitator. But I'm just going to use the jerk bait as the number one thing that I probably carry around when I'm going to fish rivers. Depending on the time of year, cold water, this works unbelievably well. Warm water, it's kind of like a 50-50. Really depends on how shallow it is. I like fishing, you know, shallower than normal waters. I like deep holes and stuff like that, but if you're fishing shallower than deeper waters, a good jerk bait will cover it. And it doesn't matter which kind. So like these are two different kinds of jerk baits. But they both run fairly shallow. And then, like I said before, I actually did a Tackle Tip Tuesday on just jerkbait fishing, but this is just something you should have in every river fishing tackle box that you own. Sizes don't matter. It just kind of depends on where you're fishing. If you fish places where you have like a 3.5, 4-inch bait fish, you should really be fishing something that's very similar. So match the hatch. But to keep it simple for you guys, bring yourselves some jerk baits, and get a variety of them and then try them all out depending on the color of the water and all that stuff. Like I said, I did a jerkbait video, just go look that up, or I'll put it up here for you guys in the cards so you guys can go watch that video if you want to learn more about these. Okay, so this doesn't go along with the jerkbait, even though it might look like it. Something that I've been using a lot more of recently, I used them in the past, but it's just kind of coming back to me, is I use a little crank. So this is a flicker shad, or a flicker minnow, right? Flicker shad? Yeah, it's a flicker shad, 5M. And these guys, like I said, this is all bait fish orientated. So you would think they're all the same thing, but they're not. So with the flicker shad and a light bill like this, you can fish down to like 7, 8, almost 10 feet of water, maybe even 12 if you get it going good, in a river. And this will catch you just about everything because it looks exactly like a bait fish. Obviously, they make different colors and kinds. I like to fish 2 simple ones. So this one kind of covers the bluegill, shad, you know, minnows side of things. And this obviously covers the perch pattern. So like these 2 baits right here cover everything I need to cover as far as like the different baits that are going to be swimming in the waters that other bigger fish are going to want to eat. So couple of crankbaits. I'll list the flicker shad down below for you guys because this is really, it's an underrated lure. I don't know if a lot of people, I don't talk to a lot of people that use them in rivers. Obviously people use them trolling and stuff like that all the time and casting on the lakes and rivers or lakes and stuff. But I don't talk to a lot of people that throw flicker shads in rivers. Okay, so one other thing, more for micro fishing and smaller fish, something really simple, it's very, very, very overlooked. So obviously you can throw, there's millions of things you can throw, but these are all just really simple things that don't snag up that easy. So like it's easier to keep your baits because when you fish rivers, creeks, and streams and stuff like that, you tend to snag up on a lot of things if you're fishing around the bottom. But with all of these, you can keep them up off the bottom. With spinners, you got to kind of learn because they sink, obviously, when you stop reeling. But these are a beetle spin, and these are actually, this is a JB Lures tadpole spin. I think they still make them, but I mean, it comes like this. So it's real simple. It's a twisty tail grub and a little wire setup with a spinner on it. But these are little, and they make them all different sizes. But the thing is like, if you're trying to target a panfish when you're fishing a river system, the biggest thing to do is downsize, but stay in that bait fish territory. Because crappie, bluegill, perch, any kind of panfish will eat a small twister-tailed grub like this because they're all kind of predatory. I've noticed that river systems breed more predatory instincts in every species of fish than anything. Like, I don't know if you've ever gone fishing. Comment below if you've ever gone fishing and you're throwing like a big jerkbait or something. So like if you've ever used one of these and you're fishing a big lure like this, so you can see how big it is against my hand, bigger lure, for like walleye or bass or something like that or whatever, and a sheephead smashes it, or a freshwater drum, like, it's just funny because you'd be surprised what will eat. Like, I've caught carp on jerkbaits. So everything in rivers seems to get very predatory. So that's just a big tip for you guys. And then last but not least, I don't carry a lot of them anymore because the spinners and everything else works so well usually. But just a curly tail grub, any color pattern, whatever. The biggest thing with curly tail grubs and the patterns for them is that you need to have something that it's going to work in the color of water that you're fishing. So it just depends on the color of the water that you're fishing. But I always have some around. Like, for instance, a white curly tail grub works great just about anywhere for anything on a jig head. So that's a really simple thing. So the terminal tackle video kind of will spread over to this, but I always have a jig head laying around. So, all right. So the big thing here is I always have two things with me basically at all times, is a minnow type of imitator and or like a bottom type of thing. So like jig heads and stuff like that, and sinkers, all that, that's bottom stuff. And then basically the rest of the stuff is all upper water column stuff. The big thing about spinners is you can fish from the top of the water column all the way down to the bottom. And then, I mean, you can see, so these are my two main casting rods. I currently have a jerk bait on both of them. So that's a big thing that most people misunderstand, is like, don't overcomplicate river fishing, because there's actually, if you do it right, you can catch fish everywhere you go, that there's a decent spot on the river. Learning how to fish rivers is a little bit different. I might do a better Tackle Tip Tuesday on that, but I did one, and I'll put that right here. That one basically helps you guys read a river. That's the best of way I could put it. All right, guys. So, like I was saying, the simplest things to do, or the best way to fish a river, is to keep it very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Some spinners, some jerk baits, some crankbaits, obviously a bottom setup. Like I said, I'll put that at the very end of this video so you guys can get your terminal tackle. But if you have the other box that I did, the other Tackle Tip Tuesday box, and this box, you really shouldn't be missing out on any fish whatsoever. The only other thing I could say that I use a lot more often than I see a lot of people do river fishing is I fish a slip bobber setup almost religiously, because that's just one way to keep yourself from getting snagged up all the time. You're gonna lose bobbers and stuff like that, and lose jigs. But that's just kind of river fishing. But the big thing here is I think that's why people don't do it, because they don't want to lose the bobbers and whatnot. But I have a huge box full of bobbers at all times. I have a whole Tackle Tip Tuesday on that. I'm sure if you're subscribed, you've seen it. So either way, hopefully this helps a couple of you guys just get out and walk some creeks and rivers and catch some more fish. It's that simple. You carry these two boxes along. Like I said, the last video, I'll do that one at the end of this one. You carry these two boxes along, and I promise you, you'll find some fish. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Obviously, if you're not new here, you know what's up. But if you are new, could you please just remember to